Hey, Inner Entrepreneurs, I'm your host, Dr. Amanda, and if you're a coach, expert, or service-based business owner, you're in the right place to learn law of attraction strategies that will help you break through to six figures and beyond in your business. And in this episode, you're going to learn 3 law of attraction time tips that lead to rapid business growth for coaches, service-based business owners. I want you to think about this. How much time did you spend last week mastering your mindset? How much time did you spend in the last week with lead gen that works? How much time did you spend specifically hyper-focused on rapid business growth for you to accelerate your income and impact through your coaching business? I want you to really get clear with yourself about time because time is your most precious commodity. And if you are wasting time, it means that you are going to at some point burn out because you're going to be spending way too much time on things that don't actually matter. So let's break some of this down before I give you the 3 really specific time hacks today. I want us to just think about time and how important it is. How you choose to spend your time will predict your level of success as a coach. I'm going to say that again. How you choose, and I use choose very intentionally here, how you choose to spend your time will predict your level of success as a coach. If you are wasting time, it's going to turn into slow business growth because you're going to be stressed out and burnt out. This causes you to be repellent to money. So if we think about money magnetism, when you're wasting time, you're creating a downward spiral for yourself that leads you to stress and burnout, which is going to push money away in your business. So if you don't have the revenue that you would want right now, you are probably wasting time. And I know that sounds strange to make this connection, but I really want you to connect today time and money. Because if you use your time powerfully, you can make buckets of money. If you use your time inefficiently, you're going to feel frustrated and stressed, which creates repellent energy toward money, which causes you to have to work harder, which causes you to be more stressed out. And on this cycle goes, which leads to so much frustration. And we don't want that for you. So think about if you are productive, and I like to think of it as being a productive or a productivity powerhouse. You're going to experience rapid business growth because you're going to have this state of ease and flow. This creates money magnetism. So think about productivity as the maximum results in the minimum amount of time. So maximum results in the minimum amount of time. Maximum profits with the least amount of effort, and maximum joy with the least have-tos. So when you are a productivity powerhouse, you're getting the most results with the least amount of input, you're making the most money with the least amount of effort, and you're experiencing tons of joy, and you're not doing stuff you don't want to do because you're learning to drop, automate, and delegate. That's productivity at its best, and that's when you're using your time powerfully. So when you don't define your use of time, you become a slave to time. You blame everything outside of yourself for your lack of results. And then you let low priority distractions consume your day because you have no boundaries on time. And this creates you being a victim to time or a slave to time. And then you blame outside circumstances for your lack of productivity or your lack of results. This would be a victim mindset, a scarcity mindset around time. And if you have this victim and scarcity mindset around time, most likely that also maps onto your money magnetism. So these two things are very related because the way you think about time is typically the way you think about money. So let's say that you're somebody who goes, I love to make easy money in passive streams of income where my money makes money for me, and I'm always looking for opportunities to be more abundant, to create assets, to enjoy what I'm doing, to have my money grow and grow and grow, and then to have that magnetize more for me. Clearly, that's a very abundant mindset around money. You will feel the same about time. I love spending my time doing things that I enjoy. It's fun to make money doing what I love. I love to get up in the morning and spend time in my zone of genius and attract clients my way with ease and joy. And it feels good to spend my time doing what I love. That's an abundant mindset about time. And when you feel that way, it means that you have become somebody who is a productivity powerhouse. You're living in your zone of genius. You're getting to that zone 4 of business growth where all the awesomeness happens because you're in your zone of manifestation. Remember the zones of rapid business growth. If you go back to episode 7, you can listen to the 4 zones. So there's zone number 1, the manic imposter zone, where you're spending a lot of time on your business and you're excited about it, but you're not making a ton of money. In zone number 2, when you are over delivering and undercharging or overworking and getting underpaid, you're still working a lot for your money and you're feeling frustrated because you're not spending your time on the most productive activities. And so you tend to overwork and get underpaid. So you're still not a time master in zone 2. In zone 3, when you start to value yourself more, then you start to use your time more powerfully because you delegate away the things you don't enjoy. You start realizing, okay, if I'm going to build this business to 6 and 7 figures and feel good about it and bring in more income in a flow-based way, then I've got to start hiring experts to help me instead of thinking I can do it all myself. And then in zone 4, when you get to your zone of manifestation, you are very much a master of your time. And that's part of the reason you're able to get to zone 4 and get to building a 6 and 7 figure business that feels really easy and flowing and fun because you've become a time master. So these things are so tied. So if you notice yourself blaming the outer reality for your lack of results, you probably have an issue with time. You definitely have an issue with scarcity thinking around money, and you just need to learn how to reframe your energy and your input so that you can start to get more productive results. So that's what this episode is all about, helping you understand how to stop being a victim of time and how to take ownership of your time so that you can become a productivity master. So let's apply the inner power formula here too. Remember, the inner power formula is number 1, to recognize, number 2, reframe, number 3, repeat to reprogram. So applied to time. Recognize, am I a victim of time or am I the master of my time? Do I optimize my time and get productive results, or am I a victim of time? And you'll know you're a victim of time if you say the things that you've heard me talk about today. So, oh my God, there's never enough time. I am not getting the results that I want. I feel overwhelmed and burnt out. I'm working all the time, but I'm not making the money that I want. That's how you know you're a victim of time if you're saying things like that. So recognize, am I a victim of time or am I a productivity master? If you're a productivity master, you're going to be feeling like, awesome, things are flowing, my business is growing, I'm not working too hard, I feel like I am magnetic to money. Then you know that you're doing a great job with your use of time. So just recognize where you're at on that spectrum, not to beat yourself up, just to reframe. So number 2, reframe. If you aren't feeling like you're a productivity master or you're not bringing in money easily in a flow-filled way, then that's okay. You're just going to reframe. Okay. So just remember that if you beat yourself up, you're just causing more of the problem to happen because that's what you're focusing on. You're focusing on, I'm not good enough. I don't know how to do this. If that's what you're doing, then you're not actually reframing. You're just continuing to do the same thing. So you're recognizing I'm not good at time. And then instead of reframing, you're just beating yourself up, which is going to cause you to push away the result that you consciously want, which would be to be a productivity master. So in the reframe, you're going to start refocusing and using the 3 tips I teach you today to start using your time more efficiently. If you recognize, yeah, I'm pretty darn good at time, awesome, keep doing what you're doing. That means you're on the right track. Of course, you can still listen to the tips and see if they can help you become even more of a time master, but just recognize where you're at. And reframes are important when you decide, oh, I want something different. I'm going to reframe my mindset, my feelings, my beliefs, my energy, the actions I take. Then I'm going to repeat those reframes and I repeat. Now I can get a different result because I reprogram my subconscious mind and I reprogram myself for law of attraction success, because then you'll be automatically attracting money and success and rapid business growth your way because you've reprogrammed your state of being for something different. So just remember how to keep applying the inner power formula. I'll keep reminding you in all these episodes because it's the most simple method that I can teach you to reprogram yourself for success. Okay, so here are the 3 simple time tips to help you become a productivity powerhouse to rapidly grow your business. Number 1, and I came up with just some fun names for these, peak performance scheduling. What peak performance scheduling is for you to identify what would be called your golden hours. And these are the times of the day that you're laser focused and that you have a ton of energy and that you're the most productive. So during this peak performance scheduling, you're going to schedule your highest value coaching tasks in this time frame, and you're going to safeguard it diligently, meaning that you put this block on your calendar and nothing gets in the way of you using that time to do your highest charged, most impactful coaching activities. And what will happen when you do this is that you'll watch your productivity just increase dramatically because you are tackling the most important, impactful work during that time. So it's like your personal prime time. Think of this as, okay, I know myself well enough to know when I'm at my peak performance. And so I'm going to schedule in that time of day, the block of time to do the most potent activities in my coaching business. And so you just need to know yourself the best. This isn't going to be the same across the board for everybody. For some people, this might be in the morning hours. For some, it might be in the middle of the night. Whatever it is for you, know yourself well enough to know, and then block that time out on your calendar and decide what it is you're going to do during those times. So peak performance scheduling. Number 2, rapid fire task batching. Rapid fire task batching. These are fun names. So boost your workday productivity by grouping similar tasks together. So things like email, client calls, content creation, lead gen. We could say episode releases if you're a podcast host, or writing chapters of your book if you're an author. If you're a speaker, then writing out new strategies to be a better speaker. These are going to look different for everybody, but you want to task batch. The reason this is so powerful, I wish I wrote these numbers down. I was with my group recently, and a person in my group coaching shared some stats about, I believe he said it was 14 minutes. Every time you get off task from something you're doing and you get interrupted, let's say by a phone notification, or you take a break to check an email and you come back to the task that you're doing, it takes 14 minutes to get back into the groove of what you were doing. 14 minutes. So if you're letting yourself get interrupted throughout the day a whole bunch and you're not doing batch projects, you are completely messing up your productivity. And remember, we said that you want to be a productivity master where you're in flow and you're getting the most results in the least amount of time. If you're letting yourself get interrupted multiple times throughout each task, then it's taking you all day to do something that could take 1 hour. And another, key here when you're doing rapid fire task batching is, again, set a time limitation for these tasks. Because if you think about Parkinson's law, which means that work expands to fill the time allotted. If you give yourself 6 hours to do something, it's going to take 6 hours because you've given yourself 6 hours to do it. If you give yourself an hour to do something, it's going to take an hour. And that's why batching is so powerful, because you say, okay, I've got this batch of time to focus on this batched activity, and now I can become a productivity master. So this really minimizes procrastination. It enhances efficiency, and it just makes you a productivity powerhouse. So rapid fire task batching. I highly recommend, in a similar way, that you add this to your calendar and you put, okay, at this time each week I'm recording this, or I'm creating this content. It might be that you do this once a month. A lot of people batch record episodes, or they'll batch create their content. And so this is a very powerful way to become much more productive with your time, so that it doesn't feel like this task is spilling out every day, all day, and just consuming a whole bunch of mental space and emotional energy, which will lead to scattered results. You've heard me say it before, scattered energy leads to scattered results. So when you're letting things spill out and there's no time boundaries on anything, then you are creating scattered results because you have scattered energy. So batching helps you create that laser focused energy, just like peak performance scheduling does. Laser focused energy. And we want laser focused energy because what that does is it sets boundaries on your time. And when you are a boundary time master, you become very productive because you don't let those low priority distractions consume your time because there's room for it, right? If you don't set a clear schedule and hold boundaries around it, then low priority distractions are going to come in and knock you off your balance. And when you do this multiple times throughout the day, that's why you are feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and like you're not getting anything done. Okay, number 3, the 5-minute miracle. So in 5 minutes, you're going to experience a miracle because you're going to start doing daunting tasks with just 5 minutes of commitment. So this is going to look like the things that are lower on your list that you don't enjoy doing so much. And eventually I want you to delegate these away or drop them. Obviously, if it's a drop thing, it means you're doing stuff that's unimportant. So just stop doing them. You don't even need to apply the 5-minute miracle. Just drop them. Don't do stuff you don't need to be doing. This takes you realizing, how do I spend my time? Is it important what I'm doing? Can I drop, automate, or delegate it? If it's something on your list that you can't drop, that's an essential in your business and that you have not yet delegated, then apply this 5-minute miracle. So you're just going to set a timer for 5 minutes and you're going to tackle that task for 5 minutes. The reason that this is a game changer is because those initial 5 minutes will often transition into a state of productivity. And then what will happen is you'll flow into it and you'll get the project done. So this is a really interesting strategy to use to transform dread into achieving the task. And the reason for this is because when you're doing things that are not in your zone of genius, so I use the model working genius as well, and there's 2 areas of working genius, 2 areas of competency, and 2 areas of frustration. If you go back to episode 29, so season 4, episode 29 of the Inner Power Entrepreneur podcast, I talk about the working genius profile. It's a really cool tool. So anyway, you have areas of frustration. This would be similar to in Zone of Genius model where you have 4 zones that he talks about. So you have the zone of incompetence. These are things you're not that good at all. Zone of competence. These are things you're okay at doing. Then you have your zone of excellence. These are things that you're pretty good at doing. And then your zone of genius. These are things that you excel at, that you could do all day long. These are the most magnetic. So frustrations would be similar to areas of competence and incompetence where you're like, okay, I'm doing stuff that I'm okay at doing, but it's really hard and it sucks a lot of time because I don't enjoy it at all. And so obviously the places where you're the least competent, you're going to have the lowest confidence, which is going to cause the most frustration, the most procrastination, and just the most irritation and lack of focus. And so when you're doing these things in your business, I want you to really consider how quickly you can DAD them, drop, automate, delegate. And if it's something that you say, okay, this is required to do in my business and I'm not quite to the point that I'm going to delegate, then I'm going to do the 5-minute miracle. So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm just going to start doing this task and then watch what happens. What I've noticed is that when I do spend time in my frustration, which I really aim to not spend time in my frustration because, again, it's not magnetic to money and it causes burnout. But let's say there's something I'm like, okay, I got to complete this task. I can get it done. I avoid it, right? You procrastinate on these things. And so if I set a timer for 5 minutes, I just go like, okay, I can spend 5 minutes on this. And then you start doing it and then you feel good that you're doing it because you go, okay, I'm knocking this out. Yes, I'm going to be able to knock this off my list and then I'll be done with it. And so you spend 5 minutes and you start to feel better and then it causes you to just be like, okay, I might as well just knock it out and finish it. So it's a really simple trick to trick your mind into going, okay, I'm just going for 5 minutes and then those initial minutes turn into more minutes. Then you knock it out, you mark it off your list and then it frees up so much energy. And I don't want to give you this one to tell you that that's where I want you to spend most of your time. I do not. Be very careful about how you spend your time. If you're spending your time on things you don't enjoy doing, why are you building a business at all? The whole point of being an entrepreneur and building a business that you get to define is that you create a business you love, so you spend your time doing things you love. What we really want as entrepreneurs is freedom, right? We want the freedom to choose how we spend our time. We want to define the use of our time. That's the ultimate freedom. So don't be spending a whole bunch of time doing crap you hate. Please don't do that to yourself. You're just creating a prison out of your business. So this 5-minute miracle is to start to help you to just knock off those tasks you don't enjoy. And those tasks, are the ones that you want to keep looking to be the ones that are the first to delegate. So your 5-minute miracle tasks are the ones that you go, oh my God, I got to get this off my list as soon as possible so that I can get to zone 3 and 4 in my business, where I'm really starting to value myself and I'm starting to create more magnetism and more rapid business growth because I'm not doing shit that I hate in my business. Stop doing shit you hate, learn to delegate. That's one of my sayings. So let's recap. Number 1, peak performance scheduling. Number 2, rapid fire task batching. And number 3, the 5-minute miracle. So these are just 3 simple time tips that you can use to become a productivity powerhouse. And when you are a productivity powerhouse, it helps you rapidly grow your business. Key takeaway for today I want you to remember is if you're a slave to time and you're blaming everything outside of you and for your lack of results, it means that you have a scarcity mindset. It means that somewhere in you are going to be repelling money. You're going to be pushing money away. You're going to be making your business really hard to build. And we don't want that. We want you to become a productivity powerhouse. So try out these 3 tips today and just see how they go. See how these time hacks work for you. Play with them. And always remember how critical it is to dad the things away that you hate. So drop, automate, delegate. And this will help you become more magnetic to money and get into that zone 4, zone of manifestation. If you like what you're getting on this podcast, you are going to love all the resources I have available for you, both free and paid. I have tons of cool free resources. And of course, you can work with me in group coaching. I have a course coming out very, very soon. Actually, this month, you'll be hearing about it. So exciting. Go to innerpowerentrepreneur.com, innerpowerentrepreneur.com. It's the name of the podcast, innerpowerentrepreneur.com, and you'll find a whole bunch of links for awesome stuff to help you rapidly grow your business as a coach, consultant, a service-based business owner. It is my jam, my joy, my genius to help give you strategies to up-level your vibrational frequency, get aligned with the law of attraction, use it powerfully to grow your business in practical ways. I'm sure if you listen to this whole episode and you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I am very woo-woo and spiritual, and I blend that with practical, actionable strategies. So I want you to be able to apply and grow your business to whatever level you desire. That is what I love to do. I love to help you do that. I really want more coaches in the world because I think that the world would be a awesome place if everybody had a coach. So I'm here for you. I support you. So just go to innerpowerentrepreneur.com and grab some free resources. I can't wait to hang out with you. And until next time, I'm sending you giant hugs and inner power high fives.